Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back once again to the BMW M4 and M8 competition sponsored by Mondello Park in association with Motorsport Ireland. This is the Irish Digital Motorsport Championship, and we are back for round number 7, and we've gone all the way down under. We're here in Bathurst in Australia for what promises to be a very special event. A potential champion could be crowned tonight and become the first Irish Digital Motorsport champion of all time. Well, my name's Jack and as always, joining me today, we have another guest in with us. It's Peter McKay. Welcome along, Peter.
Thank you very much, Jack. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. And we discovered at the weekend, didn't we, when commentating on the Apex Racing Academy F3, that we'd actually crossed paths unknowingly on the digital motorsport stand at the Autosport show this year. So to be joining you in the commentary booth now, 9 months or 10 months later, or whatever it is an absolute pleasure. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's funny how things work. Is that we crossed and we're back doing a championship together. But yes, we're here in Bathurst, and of course, as I said, we could be crowning a potential champion pending stewards' inquiries, of course, after heat race number 2, or round number 8, should we say. Round 7 and 8. Heat race 1 is round 7, and heat race 2 is round 8. Round 8, of course, reverse grid, top 10 we normally go for, and of course we have the Pro class and the Pro-Am class. The Pro class in the M8 GTEs and the Pro-Ams in the BMW M4 GT4 class, and of course that championship cannot be decided today, so we have to wait until we get to the Nordschleife into just in a week's time after we go here. But here's the Pro will be in red and the Pro-Am in blue on the timing tower. A bit of admin to go through first. We have 5 drivers with qualifying bans. They will be starting down at the back of the grid. I believe that's Michael Devaney, Thomas Sebas, Peter Dempsey, Owen Murray, and James Holman will be starting down at the back. But it is a very crucial day for championship leader Jordan Kelly. He could be walking away with the title after round number 8. So this is a very crucial day for him. Jordan has really come alive this season, and Peter, you're obviously you'll be a little bit familiar with him with the Apex Racing Academy F3. He made his debut actually last week and did quite well for himself. So I think it's no surprise that he's quite a handy little driver behind the wheel.
Absolutely, and what impressed me the most about him, Jack, was his racecraft. I mean, for a relatively young man, and some of the moves he was pulling was really, really impressive. And as we were talking about before the broadcast, managing the traffic in this multi-class situation here at Bathurst as we come into the mountain section now, it's so narrow and very much one line in a lot of places. So Jordan's going to have to rely on all of that racecraft to make his way through swiftly, not only on his competitors, but also on the other cars in the M4 GT4 class.
Exactly. Now, Jordan was fastest in practice before we come through, but now we're on board with his runs down through the middle sector. This is just spectacular. Hang on to your seat stuff as he comes through past the wall on the right side, through Mondello Park and down into the most infamous section. This is going to be an absolute killer when you catch up to a GT4 through the dipper, just dropping back down the hill that you just climbed up, and it's just non-stop action through 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and hitting through 16 into 17 and 18 Forest Elbow, which is a really tricky braking zone. Going to nicely tight to the wall and down the Conrod straight. Ideally, Peter, this is where you want to be catching the GT4s, not where we just passed through.
Sorry, just had to take a moment. Jordan Kelly leaving absolutely nothing on the table here on that qualifying lap. Absolutely magnificent to watch, and yes, you're absolutely right. There could be a little bit of luck playing a factor today on when the leaders catch the lap traffic, and a bit of patience is going to be really, really important to get through safely here at Mount Panorama. But also, just like in the real world Bathurst 1000, they have a top 10 shootout. We have a 10-minute shootout here today, and the qualifying is vitally important to get that track position. As Jordan comes through 157.8. That's quick straight out the gate.
Yeah, and he's pulled off straight away. He's happy with that. He doesn't want to go for another one. Jordan, he's going to go again, but that's a great lot to pull out of the bag. It's Jordan Kelly and Keith Dempsey, multiple digital motorsports champion. He's now in P2. Josh Malin is Jordan Kelly's championship rival. He's 45 points adrift heading into this race. He needs to be under 50. He needs to basically keep the gap the same if he wants a chance at the title of the Nordschleife. If it is over 50 after round 8, then Jordan Kelly is provisionally crowned the champion. So Josh has got some work to do. The newly crowned Ginetta GT5 champion as well. So he's carrying some momentum from the real world into that. And if you haven't seen Josh's race in the GT5s, it was spectacular. I urge you to go watch it. It's something special, some of the best racing I'll ever watch. And Josh, of course, coming out with the Ginetta GT5 title not too long ago, and he's up in P3. Arturas Kundalis, I always like to give Arturas a mention in P4 because that man is racing on hand controls. So that man there, he's been impressing the whole way through this championship, and he is doing wonders, Peter, for showing that no matter what your disability, you can be quick.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic to see. And actually, there's some nice symmetry here as well because the great Alex Zanardi, of course, raced at Daytona in this very car, the M8 GTLM machine. And also, Alex uses the hand controls as well. And while we're talking about him, we should wish him all the best. He's still fighting after a horrible accident on his hand cycle. But that's great to see Arturas using the hand cycle, and also one of our producer, Dennis Branch, here in our Apex Racing Team crew, actually has the same setup on his sim at home, which is very cool. And yeah, look at this. I mean, Arturas in fourth right now. It's not holding him back any bit at all.
Only half a second off Jordan Kelly as well. That's a spectacular effort from him. Nicky Meredith doing well there. Then McManus, Richard Lyons, Rob Moore, Thomas Series. And now we look at the Pro-Am class because from what I can see, actually, there is no sign of Alex Denning, our championship leader, and Dave Maguire is in prime position today. He's only 17 points off the championship lead. If he just gets the car across the line today, he could be the championship leader heading into the Nordschleife. So Dave has really improved massively over the season. Took some race wins in Silverstone, and he's back on form. And Harry McGovern in P2, and Chris Hahn. If you have not seen the Silverstone broadcast, I urge you to go watch it because Austin Knight as well created one of the greatest pieces of advertisement for BMW last time out. Chris McCann, fresh from his visit to the International Space Station, is back on Earth and is sitting in P3 right now. Basically, he had a huge accident on the Wellington Strait, I think it was, got sent up into orbit, and then came back in race 2 to finish in second place. So he's back on form once again, qualifying in P3 for now. But yeah, doing an excellent job. It's great to see Chris always back on track with his brother Peter in pro class as well. So there's plenty of brothers going through here. We have the Dempsey brothers and the McCann brothers, and there's plenty of rivalry going on there. But if you like what you see, by the way, with these BMW M8 and the BMW M4, of course, this series is kindly sponsored by Mondello Park. And if you would like a chance at driving potentially one of these bad boys, and either an M8 or an M4, you can check out the link in the description below in the iRacing Sports Network or on Apex Racing TV. But to give you a taste of what that could be like, let's hear from our sponsor, Mondello Park. Welcome back to Bathurst once again. So if you'd like a chance to win that, do check the description as they Mondello are kindly giving away a driving experience in those wonderful BMW M8s and M4s. But heading to the end of qualifying now, big slide from Richard Lyons. It is crucially, Peter, this is exactly what we need to see, is Jordan Kelly on the pole, and that's where he needs to be.
Yeah, that's vitally important at this particular circuit as well. He'll also get the opportunity to hit the traffic first and make his way through. So yeah, Jordan Kelly's just doing exactly what he needs to do. But it's going to be a busy evening of racing, and he's got to keep it out the walls if he wants to try and seal up this championship.
So you just saw the men who have been committed to viewing the instance, who will be keeping us updated on all the incidents live, of course, as always. Sean McGinley, Niall Maher, and Rob King are the race stewards for today's race. Jordan Kelly, championship leader on the pole, with a resurgent Keith Dempsey on second place. What can he do? Can he take his first win of the season? Josh Malin, championship rival Jordan Kelly, P3. Arturas Cunliffe with an absolutely fantastic qualifying P4. Brian McManus and Nicky Meredith then. Rob Moore, Niall Murray, Thomas Series, and last week's winner, Wayne Douglas in P10. Then Jason Cooper in P11 did well in practice. We'll see what Jason can do. Richard Lyons in P12. Then Sergey Grabin, Ian Malone, Rory O'Shea, Patrick McKenna, Peter McCann, Richard Faulkner, Dave Collier, Tony Stack, Ronan Hedeman, and RAC Mantis are your pro class drivers. Then on the pole for the pro-am class is Dave Maguire with Harry McGovern next to him. Then we have Chris McCann, Nathan Healy, Victor Cullen, Jean Montero, Mark Birney, Shane Connolly, Evan Griffin, and Lawrence Soswell. And this is what's going to cause the problems. James Holman, Thomas Sebis, Robert Barwell, and Michael Devaney, unfortunately, are going to be starting at the back, right behind the M4s. And those guys have got to be careful. They had qualifying bans. There's not a hell of a lot they can do. They were not allowed to come out on the circuit, but they're going to have to be super careful on lap 1, Peter.
Yeah, absolutely. They will be. I think it'll be taking, aptly named Hill Corner, turn 1, taking that very gently, and then just trying to use the power of the big M8, open up that big twin turbo V8, and try and get them as many places kind of out of the way before reaching Quarry Bend at the top of the hill. And being uphill as well, hopefully that'll mean they'll be able to clear the M4s by that point, but we'll see.
Oh, we have a rolling start. As always, Jordan Kelly will control the pace. And could he be, perhaps, the first repeat winner in this championship? As we mentioned earlier, we have had 6 different winners from the 6 rounds we have had. And we have, of course, 2 of those who have won already are Jordan Kelly and Josh Malin. Keith Dempsey, believe it or not, it seems quite strange considering he's a multiple digital motorsports champion. He has not taken a single win this season. His brother Peter has. He has not managed to do that yet. Neither has Arturas Cunliffe. Everyone would be very popular to win if Arturas managed to do it. Brian McManus, of course, picked up a win after Josh Malin's disconnect in Spa. And Niall Murray as well also picked up a win in Road Atlanta. So here we go, controlling the pace down towards the first corner. Keith trying to get a jump on him. Keith is a wily character, but Jordan Kelly, he will control the pace as they head through the last corner. And we go green, and Josh Malin immediately taking the advantage up the inside as the green flag waves. Here in Bathurst, Josh trying to get to the inside of Keith Dempsey to head towards turn 1 with Jordan Kelly getting a brilliant getaway. And through they go, and Keith slots into P2, being very sensible on that number 1 10-lap race in this round number 7 as they all go line astern through there. Been very, very clean so far. As we head back to the Pro-Am class, Harry McGovern gets the jump on Dave Maguire, and he takes the lead in the Pro-Am class. Now let's see how the M8s deal with the traffic here. It seems they're being very, very sensible. Head up towards the first couple of corners, through Hell Corner for the first time, and I think they're going to just slipstream past before they get to turn number 2. But everyone very, very well behaved, Peter. Very well done.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they've really good respect from all the drivers there. And look at that, just one of the BMW M8s making it through the M4 field in its entirety. So the others really have a little bit of work to do there. And look at that big difference there. Now, who's that in the 7-Up car? I like that, a Jordan-themed livery. Oh, we got one of the M8s in the wall. Immediately taking a toll.
Richard Faulkner.
Yeah. Richard Faulkner for turn 3 Motorsport in the wall, the former One Make Saloon Car champion in the wall at the cutting, a very unfortunately popular place, or well, if you like, certainly a common place to go off here at Bathurst.
Well, here's the first overtaking opportunity, really past the dipper. You've got the Conrad straight, Jordan Kelly breaking away from Keith Dempsey, but you can see Brian McManus falling a little ways behind. He's got Nicky Meredith right behind him, who took a win in the the Indy Pro 2000 Championship last time. Here he comes now on the limiter through the chase. Is he going to have a look up the inside here? Nicky Meredith. Brian is going to try to shut the door, but Nicky trying to go late on the brakes. But again, Brian just so much later on the brakes, carries much more speed through the chase and into that part of the circuit, then down towards Murray's corner, the last corner of the circuit. And Nicky trying to just keep himself back and pace himself a little bit here, as we have still plenty of time left in this race. But Jordan Kelly getting the start he needed, and he's pulled just over a second gap to Keith Dempsey behind, and Josh Malin sitting in P3. Josh really needs it ideally to get in front of Keith and try to minimize the damage here, because it's a 10-point difference between first and second, and 15 points between first and third. So really Josh needs to get in as close as he possibly can to Jordan to minimize the damage as we head through number 2 for the second time of asking today. But Jordan doing everything very nicely, and I think that was obviously probably one of the cleanest opening laps I've seen. And it's quite ironic, because we're at a circuit which kind of is being the more chaotic version, but the M8 managed to negotiate. Never mind. There's one car off. I think it was Michael Devaney at the back in the 7-Up BMW M8 in the Jordan throwback livery. No, it wasn't. My apologies. It must have been McCann then, who's hit the wall at the cutting. So these guys might well come up on behind quite soon. No, it's not Peter McCann. Who is it? Well, that car is not looking very unhealthy, looking very Mad Max. It's further up. I wonder if it's Barabo, perhaps, in the 34. It's definitely Peter McCann.
No, there's another one off.
There's a hell of a battle.
Oh dear.
There's a hell of a battle going on here in Pro-Am between Mark Bernie, Jean Montero, Victor Cullen, Nathan Healy, fighting for P4 in Pro-Am. It's a big old scrap as they head through down towards McPhillamy. Victor trying to go up the inside. That's not going to work as they head down to the Dipper once again. Pace themselves here. They've got to be very, 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 very careful as they head down the hill for the second time. But I think the top 2 pretty much clear away, and that's Michael Devaney spun in the Dipper. That's him spun in the wall. Oh, that's unfortunate for him. Oh no, gets collected by Thomas Sivas as well. There was absolutely nowhere Thomas Sivas could go there, because he had a GT4 on his outside, and he tried his best, but nothing he could do. Oh, Brian McManus from P5 has spun it as well. So from a very clean opening lap to a very, very chaotic second lap.
Yeah, absolutely. You knew it wasn't really going to last. Now, I think then we've finally found, I'm sure Holman has had a little bit of an off in the 7-Up car, in the 104 car. Definitely a little bit of an off at the cutting, but got away with it, James Holman. But he's managed to sort of recover, and he's on the move now. Through he goes. But I tell you what, that was... for Devaney, was it Faulkner or Devaney now who crashed at the Dipper? It was Devaney, wasn't it? Oh, Meredith off as well.
Over the top of the hill was Nicky Meredith has either crashed into the wall or pulled off to the right-hand side, but that's Nicky Meredith out as well. So that's promoted Niall Murray up to P5 with Rob Moore, Wayne Douglas, and Thomas Series on this table. That's broken away now. There's a big gap up to P4 right now. But I tell you what, Jordan Kelly is checking away. He's 1.7 seconds clear of Keith Dempsey at this early phase of the race. But we'll see how it progresses as we head through the latter stages of this race. But Niall Murray, a previous winner this season as well. Wayne Douglas, a previous winner 2 weeks ago, in Silverstone in race number 2. So Wayne's got experience. He led from the pole and managed to get away, and he's of course the team principal of Douglas Motorsport and VRC British Formula 3, so he has plenty of experience in various different forms of motorsport. You can see there's the lap times. Jordan Kelly consistent, about half a second quicker than Keith Dempsey behind, and actually Josh Malin is not far off his pace, and you can see there Josh is starting to put the 2-time champ under pressure.
Yeah, he certainly is. Keith Dempsey, a former Formula Ford Festival winner in the Kent class. And that is, well, you do not win the Formula Ford Festival unless you are a serious racing driver. and that is what Keith Dempsey is, but he's going to need that racecraft to hold off Josh Malin, who's now looking very, very menacing in the rear view mirror now as we head up the hill towards Solomon Park and McPhillamy Park. And just noticing there from the race stewards, lap 1 incident between car 14 and car 26 under investigation. That is Murray and number 26, which is it is. I'm trying to find on my timing screen, Jack.
You go ahead. We had a problem, and we've got this big scrap happening in Pro-Am as well. Continuing on, a couple of investigations coming in as well. Car 8 and number 26 is also under investigation. So Owen Murray's certainly been in the wars, whatever's gone on there. But this is the Pro-Am class going through, and this is the battle for the top 3 in Pro-Am. Dave Maguire, Harry McGovern, and Chris Spaceman McCann right in there in P3 in there as well. It'd be nice to see Chris get a win in this as well. But Dave Maguire, he wins this race. He is the new championship leader in the Pro-Am class, and he could gain a huge amount of points heading into the Nordschleife. Any updates on that car number, Peter?
Michael Devaney. My apologies, viewers, for that one. Michael Devaney, the number 26, under investigation there. So he's got 2 investigations, so he's very much ready to sit on the naughty step, I think.
Absolutely, and Sean, Niall and Rob are certainly going to put him on the naughty step if he's done anything wrong. But here we are on board with Thomas Seabass as he tries to negotiate the Pro-Ams, and this is exactly where you don't want the GT4s. You'll see how much the GTE will close up even through these corners. The GT4s they have no grip compared to the GTEs, but hopefully he should be able to negotiate them no problem.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really difficult one for the drivers to keep calm, because everyone's going to have the same issue, but you always feel like you're being held up more than the other guys, so it's really, really tricky to just keep yourself under control. But I have to say, I'm a huge fan of Thomas Seabass's livery with the Lego bricks on it. That's very cool. I like that. And I tell you what, it would have hurt more than standing on a Lego brick when he found Michael Devaney straddled across the track. And I wonder if maybe there was the incident that preceded that is maybe why Michael Devaney is under investigation. But Thomas at the back of the pack right now, got a lot of work to do. And oh, dearie me, nearly ploughs it into the wall. So maybe that car not handling quite as he would like to. Aha, now just apologies for that one, viewers. I have the wrong paint, so I'm seeing a lovely Lego livery. You'll just have to use your imagination. We are about just gone half distance here at Mount Panorama. We're looking at Keith Dempsey, 2007 Formula Ford champion at the Formula Ford Festival, holding off Josh Malin and Candelas in the number 92 right there as well in the BMW M8. Twin turbocharged V8 machine for over 550 horsepower in these cars. Very, very impressive pieces of kit, and actually won the Rolex 24 Hour at Daytona at the end of January with a certain Chaz Moster in the quartet that won that race. Of course, Chaz, one of the front runners in the V8 Supercar Championship and winner of the Bathurst 1000 in 2014.
Well, that's an interesting stat. Thank you very much for that, Peter. As I just restart our Discord, I'm back. So, so we're continuing to watch this battle here between Josh and Keith, and also Arturus right in the mix there, which is exactly what we want to see. But you can see how much Jordan is pulling away now. Nearly 3 seconds he's got over these guys. Keith seems to be the cork in the bottle for Josh and for Arturus, because we know Josh has got the pace to win. He's won before. Keith just seems to be struggling to keep the pace at the moment, but actually crucially now, this could be a crucial factor, is that now they've got to start dealing with the Pro-Am traffic.
Yeah, and look at this, Jordan Kelly, really, look, if you just catch the traffic at the wrong place, you've just got to wait your turn. There's literally no other option, but it looks like he's going to get a few here on the Conrod Straight. Yeah, 2 or 3 cars here, there coming through the Conrod Straight. But at the moment, commanding just over 2.5 second lead for Jordan Kelly. So with 4 laps to go. He's exactly in the spot he needs to be. And
Josh up the inside of the chase, and Keith's going to go back up the inside as they head through the left-hander. Josh had his opportunity, but he couldn't quite make it work. And now, let's see who's going to get himself involved. Keith straight behind. Josh trying to get him fast through as they head towards Murray's. They've got another bit of lap traffic to deal with now. And Arturus is also trying to pick his opportunity. Keith tries to go up the inside of the GT4s. They give him space, but now Josh has got to run. As they head towards Hell Corner, they're 3 abreast on the outside line. This is going to be very, very spicy as they head towards Hell Corner. But it's Keith in front still after they get through the traffic. And after all that, Jordan Kelly, has managed to gain about half a second. But that just shows you how much the traffic can spice things up.
Oh, it certainly does. If you just catch it, it doesn't have to be, it can be one corner and a second just evaporates like that. So the early stages of the Pro-Am traffic is definitely played in the favour of Jordan Kelly, and he's made his way through. But oh, tell you what though, Jack, the M4s, they're doing a brilliant job to stay predictable. You can tell there's still a lot of real-world driving experience because they're just maintaining their line. In the M8s, the Pro-Class guys are able to make their way through cleanly as we head up through this exhilarating section onto the mountain.
Yeah, M4 is doing an excellent job. M8 is also doing a brilliant job to just pick their moments very nicely as well. But Josh is getting frustrated behind the 2-time champ. Actually, I believe a 3-time champion actually stuck behind him now. Still winless for Keith Dempsey this season. Is he gonna get one? It's going to be anyone's guess. But Josh has got some momentum behind him. Newly crowned United GT5 champion, and he has got some work to do to make his way past this man here, though. Jordan making his way past Chris McCann, 3rd place in the Pro-Am, so they're catching up to the leaders now. Josh in a good slipstream. He tried into the chase last time, but Keith showed him the outside for the left-hander after the chase, which is not ideal, and the slipstream not going to really help Josh because the cars are so even in a straight line. We're going to have about 3 laps to go in this first round, round number 7. And now they're just going to make their way past Chris McCann, who's running P3 in the Pro-Ams. And let's see, can Josh find an opening anytime soon? But if there's one man who's not easy to pass, it is certainly Keith Dempsey. He knows what he's doing. He knows where to place that car.
Yeah, he's doing a great job of maintaining the lap speed and, you know, not necessarily chucking away much time, but also running defensive as well. It's quite the skill, and I'm sure his rich experience in Formula Ford racing will certainly be playing a factor there, and that's a brilliant thing about the transfers between sim racing and racing in the real world. Now look at that. Interestingly, David Maguire looked like he just came out the throttle there slightly just to let the M8 guys get through. So brilliant respect between all the competitors, and Maguire and McGovern go back into battle. They lock horns once more and head up towards Reed Park, Salmon Park, and in these M4s they'll be balancing, they'll be more or less flat out in these cars, slipping and sliding around. But here comes another one of the M8s to come through now, and they're big boys, those M8 GTs, and they loom large in the mirrors.
Yeah, did very well. Harry McGovern has an opportunity into the dipper, but he has to get on the brakes because he had too much speed carrying in there. So you can see how the traffic is making a difference for both the M4s and the M8s. And Rob Moore is going to get caught up behind them now as they head down towards Forest Elbow. I'm sure Rob is just going to try and pick his moment here around the outside of Harry as he heads down towards Forest Elbow, and should be able to get past Dave on the exit, and that is perfect. And Thomas Series is going to catch them exactly the right moment on the Conrad straight. That has just spread out the GT4 battle even more, so them letting the M8s through is also changing things up. And that is a very damaged looking Jason Cooper, who is trying to hang on to P9, but he's also got the experienced Lithuanian of Sergej Grabin about to take the position off him, going to P9. Ian Malone is also going to try and follow him through as well. So Jason is driving wounded in that car, and he's been in the wars at some points, and he's going to have to fall behind. Rory O'Shea is probably going to be the next one to try and make his way through. But Jason as well, one that we've been trying to keep our eye on in this championship as well, but still hasn't quite had the look of his way either. He's a winner in the TCR Cup, and we had the Touring Car Championship, but hasn't quite had it go his way. this season. As well, just update you on the reverse grid. Sometimes it does change depending on grid size. Top 10 is reversed. And here we go for the lead in Pro-Am. It's Harry McGovern to the outside of Dave Maguire. This is going to be a great scrap between these two. They're fighting for position in the championship as well, because they're not too far separated in the championship, and either one of them could be the new championship leader heading into the Nordschleife as Sergio Graben goes through, and Harry McGovern around the outside of his rival, but the M8s are right in the middle as well. Ian Malone's trying to make his way through. They're not going to hopefully not get involved here in the M8 battle. Through goes Jason Cooper, banging doors. Go the M4s as they head up the hill. There's a little bit of contact, but Harry McGovern takes full advantage and leads Pro-Am.
Brilliant stuff from Harry McGovern there, and I tell you what, they had plenty of M8 traffic coming through there as well to contend with, but McGovern kept his foot in it and got past Maguire, but Maguire will try to snap back here. He's got to try and upset the rhythm. I think that McManus just coming through behind them. I'm not sure, but that is Ronan Hederman trying to get through for VRA Racing in his M8, and there you go. We're into the bit where it's just all one line. Holman there in his car in the M8 BMW M8. So, but McGovern's not getting away, and I think Jack Maguire could get the draft here down the Conrod Straight.
Absolutely could. This is such a crucial race for both of them. He's got a good run out of Forest Hill. We might get it done before they get to the end of the Conrod Straight. He's round the outside. Hederman and Holman are trying to make their way through as well in the M8s. This could get a little bit spicy. Maguire's got it ahead as they head to the chase. So it's two M4s and two M8s side by side down the Conrod Straight. That's brilliant driving from all of those guys as they head through the chase. Maguire trying to go up the inside. McGovern to the inside. He shuts the door as they head through down to the end of the chase. Round the outside goes Hederman, and that was absolutely brilliant driving from every single one of those guys involved. Maguire retakes the lead.
I'm not sure if the guys in those M8s are going to agree that the M4s were driving well. I think they were wanting them to get out of the way, but all having their own race there, and yes, that seriously held up the two M8s. But this is the battle for class honours, and this battle is certainly intensifying as McGovern now drops back to second, but he's gonna cut back here, going up the mountain straight towards Quarry Bend, and Maguire holding on for now, but McGovern's getting the draft and they go side by side. This is going to be spicy, and there's another M8 who's getting held up as they go side by side.
Crucially, because they're separated by 2 points in the championship, and the championship leader Alex Denning is not here. 50 points up for grabs as they head down the hill, up the hill as they come through, and that is now there's another. Oh no, huge one at the back, and that was Victor Cullen, who got put in the wall by, I think, Dave Maguire. He got a little push in the back, but the two leaders are still circulating. That was a big one. I thought it was Dave Maguire for a brief moment, but it was Victor Cullen who got a tag in the back. That could be a steward's inquiry. But back to the front, this is Arturas Kundalus going for P3. Go on, Arturas, trying to get a podium here as they come through the last couple of corners. Jordan Kelly is going to secure round 7 victory and become the first repeat winner this season in Digital Motorsport. He crossed the line and wins round 7 and extends his championship lead. Keith Dempsey will cross the line for P2, and Josh Malin will just hold on for P3 versus Arturas Kundalus. But can we see the battle that will occur here between Jason Cooper and Sergio Graben as well as they come to the line? But that battle in the Pro-Am class between Harry McGovern and Dave Maguire is the one that we need to keep our eye on, because whoever takes the win will be the new championship leader heading into round 8 and into the Nordschleife. It's McGovern versus McGovern's got a good lead though. He's got a great advantage as they head into the chase for the final time. But what a race that was between these two. 50 points up for grabs. Alex Denning is 17 ahead, but he's not here so crucially, and it's a poor run from McGovern out of the exit of the chase though. Here comes Dave Maguire, but he's not quite close enough to try anything here. And Harry McGovern, what a performance, and what a great result, what a great drive from Dave Maguire, what a great drive from both of them. Harry McGovern secures the Pro-Am race win and is the new championship leader, and it's him versus Maguire as we head into round number 8. A little love tap from Maguire across the line, but they've got to do it all again in just a few moments time, believe it or not.
Well, I have to say, I think the stewards will be having a look at that one, because Maguire, he really got stuck behind the behind the Guinness car there, and yeah, just I think there was a little bit of intentional putting him in the wall there, if I'm be honest. And yeah, there you go. Incident under investigation. I think that will. I'll be interesting to see what the stewards think of that one.
Yeah, we'll see what transpires. That it will be a crucial investigation because it could decide the title within the next couple of weeks, of course, because we have the next round, which is also worth 50 points, and the Nordschleife, which is also worth 50 points, and that is a 2-hour endurance race, so very different to what we've got going on here. So we have now a short interlude before we head to the reverse grid race, but at last the streak is broken. Jordan Kelly becomes the first driver to win more than one race this season. He's extended his championship lead over Josh Malin. Josh Malin has managed P3, so now it should be a 60-point advantage for Jordan Kelly heading into race 2. So at the end of race 2, we could be seeing our new champion.
We could be, and let's see, but it's going to be very much a different order for Jordan Kelly, starting from 10th on the grid to make his way through the pack. So it's going to be a cracking one to watch, though.
Here we are, the official rundown of Jordan Kelly wins round number 7. Keith Dempsey is P2, Josh Malin is P3. Arturas Kundal's brilliant drive, once again, only 3/10 between himself and Josh across the line. Niall Murray P5, Rob Moore P6, Thomas Series P7, Wayne Douglas P8, Jason Cooper P9, and starting on the reverse grid pole will be Sergey Grabin. Let's see how he gets on from there. He's never won a race in Digital Motorsport. Let's see if he can do it today. Ian Malone, Rory O'Shea, James Holman, Ronan Hederman, Tony Stack, Rob Barble, Brian McManus, and then iRacing Mantis, Dave Collard, Thomas Sebas, Richard Lyons, and Michael Devaney. And then the hard-fought battle between Harry McGovern and Dave Maguire. Dave Maguire is under investigation, though, for the contact with Victor Cullen. I believe, yeah, so he is. And Patrick McKenna, then Chris McCann, P3, Mark Birney, Nathan Healy, Lawrence de Soswa, Evan Griffin, Shane Connolly, Jan Montero, Owen Murray, Peter McCann, Victor Cullen, Richard Faulkner, and Nicky Meredith in P37 of this grid. So there are stewards investigations to come, but it's amazing how quickly the championship can just flip on its head when one driver misses a round. Now, of course, there are drop rounds to take into account, but this could be a crucial day for Harry McGovern, from being P3 in the championship to suddenly being the leader.
Yeah, absolutely. Although you got drop rounds, you kind of don't want to waste it on if you're, like you say, if you're just by sitting one out, you kind of want to use it as a bit of a get out of jail free card if you have a bad round. So, yeah, it's certainly played a factor, that's for sure. And well, Harry McGovern, he fought hard for that and he fought clean, and yeah, thoroughly deserved that win. But my goodness me, did they were playing for keeps there in the GT4 Pro-Am class.
Absolutely, but we've got to do it all again with a reverse grid race about to hit your screens. This is round number 8 of the BMW M4 and M8 competition, sponsored by Mondello Park in association with Motorsport Ireland. Sergey Grabin on the pole position with Jason Cooper next to him, Wayne Douglas and Thomas Series, Rob Moore and Niall Murray, Arturas Kundal's Josh Malin and Keith Dempsey, and Jordan Kelly rounding out the top 10. Then it's as it was in the race: Ian Malone and Rory O'Shea, P11 and P12. There'll be James Holman, Ronan Hederman, Tony Stack, Rob Barble, Brian McManus, iRacing Mantis, Dave Collier, Thomas Sebas, Richard Lyons, and Michael Devaney. Harry McGovern on the pole with Dave Maguire right next to him. I think we're going to see another battle between those two: Patrick McKenna, Chris McCann, Mark Birney, Nathan Healy, Lawrence Soswa, Evan Griffin, Shane Connolly, Jan Montero, Owen Murray, Peter McCann, Victor Cullen, Richard Faulkner, and at the back should be Nicky Meredith, and it is at the very back. So the stage is set for one hell of a race, and I honestly could not call a winner in this one, but the crucial battle we've got to keep our eye on is Josh Malin has got to finish in front of Jordan Kelly to keep himself in the championship fight.
Well, it's nice and simple then. That's good. It means we don't have to get our abacus out mid-race, Jack, which is always nice for us commentators. We can't necessarily multitask that well.
No, we're not quite that good just yet, but we'll just see. So currently the championship lead for Jordan is about 60 60 points, so there's a couple of outscoring things to be done, but essentially Malin needs as many positions as he can. So Sergey Graben will lead the pack away, but Wayne Douglas with a brilliant getaway from the second row as they head towards turn one. So side by side between Graben and Cooper as the green flag waves for round number 8 in Bathurst. Sergey to the inside, Cooper to the outside, both very experienced drivers, and Cooper sweeps around the outside. Will he take 3 abreast in the back? All 3 cars on the wall. Who's involved? That looks like multiple cars involved. Oh, there's a huge shot. There's a huge shot. But I think there's a couple that have made it through. There's a couple that I think Jordan Kelly has made it through, as has Josh Malin with a fabulous getaway into P4. But now the Pro-Ams have got to try and make their way through this absolute chaos. Well, it's Maguire and McGovern are your 1 and 2 as we head up the hill, but absolute carnage in turn number 1. 3 abreast and 3 cars into 1 just does not go. But we get to see this all over again. It's Maguire versus McGovern, and McCann who's trying to go to the outside here of McGovern as they head through the right-hander, but he's not quite able to get that done. But the Pro-Am survive, but Jason Cooper takes the lead.
Yeah, Jason Cooper, the touring car star, who also races here on Apex Racing TV in the Apex Racing League Touring Car Championship for Swift Cooper Esports. But look at Nicky Meredith having to come through the pack here of M4s, and it's just, look at this, this is so frustrating. You can hear Nicky fanning the throttle. Oh, that's gee whiz, that's tight through there, my word. But yeah, huge shunt at turn 1, and so frustrating to be caught up in that at the first possible opportunity. But critically, Jordan Kelly got through, but so did Josh Malin. Josh Malin is in the position he needs to be to keep the championship alive. He's up to 4th, so good start from both of those guys.
Yeah, here we go. You see Nicky being so patient as he comes down there. Josh Malin up to P3 now. Ideally, I'm trying to work out at the points frantically because it's changing constantly. But in reality, for Josh to be safe, he needs to basically win, and Jordan needs to finish below 2nd. So because if he wins, Jordan is 3rd. How do you go? See, we'll come back to that in a moment as Sergey Graben retakes the lead. Jason will have the outside line as they come side by side the hill. But look at Josh, he's flying, catching up to them. Jordan is caught behind Kundalus and Douglas. But this is a great scrap between 2 veterans right here. Sergey and Jason up the hill, then dropping down as they head up towards turn number 2. Sergey to the outside, lap 1 instant between those guys under investigation. Number 21 and car number 5. Jason Cooper retakes the lead. But look at that, Josh Malin has already caught up. There was a spin in the background. Oh, Kelly's involved.
Jordan's
involved with Wayne Douglas as they come through. It's a disaster. It's a disaster. We know Jason is an absolute disaster for Jordan. He's got damage on the front of the car, and he's now got caught up by a huge pack of M8s as they head up through the first couple of corners once again. But Ronan Hederman is the big winner. He's up to P6. Rory O'Shea's for P7. I think Jordan might have just got away very lightly there. He's still P5, but he has got damage.
Yeah, big damage too. I think he's not really got away with that one scot-free, that's for sure. So Jordan Kelly, well, it's all turned on its head because Josh Malin, he's away and clear. He's in 3rd in the number 90 car. But now we're going to see what this young man is made of, and he's made of pretty good stuff, that is for sure. The Formula V racer. So can he carry that damage? Can he make his way through the pack? Because, of course, Jack, he doesn't necessarily have to win it today, but he'll want to make sure that it's more or less sorted before going to the Nordschleife in a week's time. And because, of course, at the Nord, if you think here's dangerous, Nordschleife even more so.
Here comes Josh. He's trying to make up as much positions as he can. Sergey versus Josh Malin for P2. Sergey holds on. A little bit of sideways action as they come through the chase. Josh hangs it all the way around the outside. Big, huge moment as he comes out of the chase. How on earth has he held that together? And he comes down towards NASCAR. Heart-in-mouth moment for Josh Malin as he tries to keep his championship hopes alive. If it finishes with Josh winning and Jordan in P2, well, then it'd be 50 points exactly heading to the Nordschleife, and it could end up on countback. So if it goes like that, it would be tied. So it is technically still alive. So Josh has got to win it if he wants to keep his hopes alive. But he's in good shape for that if he keeps up with the current pace. But Sergey is proving a very tough customer as Josh goes to the outside. Sergey backs off though, and P2 for Josh Malin. He's now got to try and put a big charge on because Jordan Kelly is not making progress behind.
No, but I tell you what, who is making progress is Jason Cooper. Jason Cooper with now that he's got a front bumper back on that M8, he is flying in the number 35 Swift Cooper Esports machine. a very different machine to the car he'll be campaigning tomorrow night in the Apex Racing League Touring Car Championship. But really, really strong job so far from Jason in the 35 machine, running the same number as Cal Crutchlow, the MotoGP rider.
I'm sure that's no coincidence as they go through, but it's a big, tough customer now. Two British guys going at it right now, Jason Cooper and Josh Malin, and two very, very experienced racers. Let's see how they get on here. So, as it stands right now, the championship is tied on 50. If Malin gets ahead, then he keeps the championship firmly alive. He brings the gap down, heading into the Nordschleife, but Jordan obviously probably going to be suffering with that. Yeah, he's 3 seconds off the back of Arturis at this moment in time. Now, there's obviously pending stewards' investigations. There is Ronan Hedeman versus Rory O'Shea as they head through the chase. Ronan making up some very good positions here as they come through the chase. He hangs around the outside. Rory keeping it nice and sensible. And you've got the very, very experienced James Holman trying to make up positions here as Rory hangs it around the outside on the exit of the chase. And a great job from him. But James is now going to try and find some space as they come down towards Murray's on the outside line for him. He's not quite able to get it done, but a great scrap between these guys. Ronan trying to hang him off now. Holman tries to switch to the inside, gets covered off by Ronan. And you can see that Barable coming in there as well. Arias Mantis, Brad McManus trying to make their way through as they head through Hell Corner once again. But the battle is most certainly on for the race win, and probably the most crucial position on the track is between Jason Cooper and Josh Malin and the championship hopes heading into next week.
Yeah, brilliant scrapping there as well. And also Ronan Hederman, the bass player, what a move that was around the outside on the exit of the chase. So we look at Wayne Douglas into the side there. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, Wayne Douglas gets put in the wall hard. Now, what was that? That was the number 16 of Collier, who I think might have been the culprit there. It happened very quickly, just as we flashed the camera there. Judging by the damage on that car, I think it probably was. So, poof.
Oh, big one.
Oh, and there's Velcro on that wall. Oh dear.
Yeah, good job. He put the reset button as quick as he could, because a lot of drivers came very, very close to a very untimely end at the top of the hill. But look at this big train of cars heading down the hill, ending with Brian McManus riding on board with him now, the race winner from round 4. Picking up the pieces from Josh Malin's disconnect at Spa. That was the last time Brian took a win. Arias Mantis up ahead of him as well. The Carter trying to keep himself in behind as well. Here comes Brian in the slipstream. Got the Rob Barble up ahead of him, P9 as well. Here we go. McManus, is he going to be able to make this move stick? He moves to the inside line of the chase, and it's tricky to go up the inside of the chase because he got the outside line for the next part of the corner. So McManus, and Noah's in front, now is trying to outbrake him on the outside, and he has got it done, and fighting the wheel as he comes through. Brilliant job from Brian McManus to hang on to that car. That was heart in mouth, so brilliant car control from the Irishman.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm just going to copy what you've just said, Jack. Brilliant car control. That was exactly what was going through my mind. Wow, Brian McManus, I thought that was going to be a spin there, but held it together well. And Barable barges Ronan Hederman out the way. Barable, the rally driver. Oh my word. Oh, and we've got more cars off. We've got Chaos just up ahead. More damage. That's yeah, but I could almost not recognise it because there's hardly any panels left on that BMW. And look at the suspension. That is crabbing. Goodness me, look at that.
Josh Malin knows all about this from Silverstone. And speaking of Josh Malin, look at the gap, a 1/10 of a second as they come up the hill. It's incredibly close between Jason and Josh fighting for this win. They're miles in front. They're 3 seconds clear, and Jason is due a win. He's long overdue a victory, but Josh needs this for the championship as he heads down the hill. And this is going to be such a crucial move. Jason, his last win in the championship was, I believe, at Snetterton in the Touring Car Championships with a last lap overtake, a last lap double overtake, last corner, round the outside of none other than Craig Breen and Keith Dempsey. So Jason knows how to win spectacularly, but Jason now, he's got to try and keep up. And it looks like is Josh carrying some front end damage. He is on the small bit on the left hand side. Car number 31 and car number 36 are under investigation for an incident. That's Richard Faulkner under investigation for a particular incident. But Jason holding his own, and now they're starting to catch the M4s halfway through this race.
Yeah, this is where it's starting to get interesting. I wonder if Josh has maybe just made a little bit of contact with the back of Jason's car, possibly. Although Jason's car looked pretty clean at the back, so possibly not. But yeah, we're just gone over half distance now, and yeah, like you said, Jack, both of these guys, they both desperately want the win, but for two quite different reasons. Jason to break a duck that's been running for a little bit too long, and Josh to keep his championship battle alive. Jordan Kelly still lapping in the 1:59, so on race pace, I think he'll be pretty happy with that, considering the car is running a little bit wounded.
It's car number 16 and car number 46. Now, if I remember off the top of my head, car number 16, under investigation before, but we'll wait and see what the outcome of that. Car number 46 is not Valentino Rossi. We promise he's not here.
Imagine.
But he's under, but he's under investigation. We just saw the move, by
Dave
the way.
Collier,
Dave Collier. Ah, yes, and we know what that instance is for. That's between Wayne Douglas and him with the contact up the hill. So that's what's under investigation. Now, this huge train of cars are just catching up to Evan Griffin at the top of the hill, and he gets well out of the way. Very, very gentlemanly from him there. But Rory O'Shea leads this train of cars with James Holman, Rob Barble, and Brian McManus at the back of that train. And it is certainly an interesting battle. Jordan Kelly kind of on his own right now. He's a ways off the back of. He's miles in front of these guys, really. About 3-4 seconds in front, and he's 3 seconds behind Sergey. There he is. He's just got in front of Gian Montero, trying to catch up to Sergey. Any position now that Jordan gains is super crucial. But as I was saying, we just saw the move at previous lap at Port Cundallis, but we're going to see a move now. McManus versus Barable through the chase. Barable will hold the inside and gives him a squeeze. There's a netcode issue as they enter into the chase. There was the tiniest little touch. Looked like netcode, certainly from my end. But unfortunately, Brian is on the receiving end of it. And now Richard Lyons has a golden opportunity to try and nip one up the inside of Murray's. He's going to have a look, and he's not going to quite do it as they head through. But Brian, terrible luck with the netcode there. Just a squeeze from Rob to the inside of the chase, and did very well to kind of keep his head going, and he's actually not even lost a position.
Yeah, he kind of minimised the damage, didn't he? It's we could call it the electronic wake. You know how you get like sort of the wake at the back of a jet? It's kind of like that, I suppose, in a way. He might have, Brian might have locked up on the brake slightly, but given the fact he flashed his light straight after, I suppose that is not the case. So a bit of a pity there for Brian McManus, but Barable gets through cleanly. Former WRC2 driver, that's a pretty decent level of rallying. And I have to say, Jack, one thing very, very high up on my list is to come over and watch some tarmac rallying in Ireland. It's been up the top of my list for quite some time. Fishing for an invite there.
You absolutely have to do. Niall Maher, if you're listening, get him over. So we'll keep this. These guys are still battling, by the way. Maguire versus McGovern, and these guys are now fighting for the title. This is exactly what we want to see between these two young guns, Dave Maguire and Harry McGovern, fighting for the victory. McGovern, the new championship leader, but that could all change by the end of this race. It could be Maguire, it could be Maguire by the end of it, it could be McGovern by the smallest of margins. But Maguire technically needs to win it now to basically even it out heading into the Nordschleife, which would be a really interesting battle. Especially if Alex Denning gets himself involved. Alex, of course, was the dominant force earlier in the season. He won about 4 races in a row, but is of course not here today to defend that. The gap of the championship is only 17 points between the guys, and it's now going to flip all on its head. Interesting to know, isn't it? At the top, you got 2 minutes 6 for Malin, 2 minutes 7, 1:59.0 for Arturis Kundlas, a second faster than our leaders, and Arturis. This would be, obviously, I think the traffic would have also played a part. Look at the traffic trying to make their way through. They're just making it past the leaders in the Pro-Am class. But Malin has been stuck behind for the entire race. Jason has held his own so far, but the car you can, just behind the M8 you can see in the background is Arturis. He is on a mission to try and secure his first win in the championship as well. What a special one that'd be. But the battle is between these two. And for the sake of Josh Malin's championship, Jordan Kelly needs to stay right where he is. And Josh will equal out the title if he stays where he is as well. But he really wants to make it a double win this season. But now they're starting to catch the leaders. So the lead battle in pro class is now catching the lead battle in Pro-Am, and this could get a little bit messy because none of these guys are going to want to give up track position.
Uh-oh, are we going to see a repeat of race 1 where we get a bit of a car park on the Conrod Straight? Oh, Jason Cooper, God, he has to tuck it in really tight there, nearly loses it. They get into the draft together and they sort of make a bit of a freight train. They get past safely, and I think both Jason Cooper and Josh Malin will be very glad indeed to get past the GT4 leaders in such easy fashion.
Yeah, and Josh he almost had an opportunity through the chase, but Jason covers it off nicely as they head through the chase for the 8th time. He's running out of time, is Josh Malin, but it's a good run as they head towards Murray's. He's got to have an opportunity shortly now. He's going to look to the inside of Murray's, but gets covered off by Jason, the very experienced guy in front of him now. It's not going to be easy to make a move on his fellow countryman, and all the while, Arturas Kundalis is closing in with a vengeance. In the background, here comes Josh Malin now as they head towards Hell Corner. This could be so crucial now as they head around the first corner, but again, Josh is still not able to do it, but Arturas is flying behind.
Well, I'll tell you what, it looked like Josh Malin got a bit of the cutback there in the number 90 machine. Now, has he got enough of a run? Making a move up into Quarry Bend is very, very risky, especially around the outside. He's going to try it though, I think. Cooper very late on the brakes. Can he hold it down? He does. Wow, Jason Cooper driving beautifully here, keeping Malin behind him, and all the while, like you said, Jack, you've been keeping an eye on it, Kundalis there, wow, he's just absolutely shearing time out of them, and he's right involved in this battle with 2 laps to go now.
Yeah, you can see Mark Birney getting well out of the way in front. He's under the second barrier now as Arturas. This is going to go right down to the final lap, and this is exactly what we're going to see. You can see Jason going wide up the top of the hill. Here comes Arturas at warp speed coming through McPhillamy Park, and now it's a 3-car fight for the win. 2 drivers have not won a race, but Josh needs this desperately for his title hopes, and this is the type of racing we want to see. This is what Bathurst does. It is so brutal, demanding, but if you get it right, it is worth everything. Down to the Conrod Straight for the 9th time. We're going to be crossing the line for the white flag next time by. How is this going to end? I have no idea. Could we have a new winner, or can Josh consolidate a position in the championship that allows him to win it in the Nordschleife if he can possibly do it? But Jason Cooper has done everything right so far, but here comes Malin in the slipstream on board with Kundalis now. Here comes Malin to the inside of the chase. Is he going to be able to do it now as they head through the chase? It's side by side. They head down into the braking zone. Josh is going to try it around the outside. Here comes Arturas up the inside. He's going to be contact, but they somehow come through it unscathed. But Jason Cooper is still in the lead.
Wow, how on earth that was, how Malin held that one together. I thought that was going to be a T-bone steak there, but and that just, look at that, just gives Cooper a vital couple of car lengths, which really, really matter, and that should allow Cooper to defend up to Quarry Bend, and that gives him a little bit of breathing space over the mountain.
Jordan Kelly has made an absolutely crucial move for P4. If it stays as it is now, the gap at the end will be 52 points, which will mean Jordan Kelly will win the championship. If it stays as it is right now, Josh has got to pass Jason on the next lap if he wants to keep the championship alive. This is amazing, amazing racing in this championship, and it's going to come down right to the final lap to see who's going to be the champion. Is it going to be Jordan, or will it go to the Nordschleife in next week, next Sunday on the 29th? It's wide from Cooper this time. How is this going to end? This is unbelievable. Look at how they keep up with what's going on as they come up the hill. Josh is still behind Jason. Arturas is trying to hunt for any opportunity as they head through for the last time up the hill through McPhillamy Park. Josh knows this is so crucial, but this is unbelievable what we're witnessing right now, heading down the dipper for the last time. Cooper is in front. Josh is still behind. He's going to come down to the Conrod Straight and the chase because there's no opportunity through here. Wow, I cannot believe this race and what we've seen today. But Kelly might have just won the title if Josh does not make any move right now.
Well, I think he's going to try it. He's certainly close enough to Jason Cooper in the number 35 car. Down the Conrod Straight they go. 1, 2, 3. Kundalis is not out of this at all, but here goes Malin. Is he going to sell the dummy? He does. He's going to have to go the long way around. Cooper defends the inside line for the chase. But Malin have this. I tell you what, he's going to try and hang it out there. Cooper goes, oh, they make contact and Malin's off. Oh, no. It was, there was always a chance. And that's going to hand Jordan Kelly the title.
Jordan Kelly will cross the line. Jason Cooper is going to win. Is this going to be a run for the line between Condellis and Cooper? Cooper gets it and wins in Bathurst. But now we wait for Jordan Kelly to cross the line. He is surely going to be crowned the champion of the BMW M4 and M8 competition in stunning fashion. What a finish. Josh Malin crashes hugely in the background, but that is the most amazing finish to a race. Amazing final lap. Wow, unbelievable. Dave Maguire, by the way, he responds to Harry McGovern, and he is going to cross the line to win round number 8, and that championship is going to go to the final round in the Nordschleife. But Jordan Kelly provisionally is your champion, and it all came down to the last 2 corners.
What a finish. That was top-class motor racing. You know, M8 GTE machines driven to the maximum of their capability on, for me, one of the greatest racetracks in the world, maybe the greatest racetrack in the world, and you have no room for error at all, and that was just a treat to watch. But well done, Jordan Kelly. He got involved in somebody else's incident, no fault of his own, and he managed the damage well, did what he needed to do. Brilliant drive from the number 20.
Now, here's another crew. That incident, by the way, is under investigation between the contact between Cooper and Malin, but you cannot fault Josh Malin for giving it absolutely everything. He threw everything at Jason. But either way, that is a well overdue victory for Jason Cooper. But provisionally speaking, and if my maths is correct, which it may not be, Jordan Kelly may have just won the title, and that is going to mean so much to Jordan. There's prize money on the line, but he has developed so much as a driver over the past year and a half, 2 years, and to have a new champion is something special. Especially Jordan's such a nice guy. He's very quietly spoken, very softly spoken. Actually, we kind of compare him to Kimi Räikkönen a little bit. He doesn't say much, but he when he's happy, you can definitely hear it. So hopefully we get to hear from Jordan later on, because that was the most testing of race. He had to make such a crucial move in the dying moments, but he still managed to grab a podium after starting P10 on the grid. But, and here we go, they're going to go for the Bathurst jump. Here we go. Nice one, Jordan. Very well executed.
Holds it as well.
Holds it together as well. The car behind not so lucky, but Jordan's celebratory jump over the Bathurst tyre wall. But he is... provisionally speaking, we're going to get the donut. He knows he's the champion. Well done, Jordan. Jason Cooper, boy, look at that. 1/10 of a second across the line. Arturis Cundles, what a spectacular finish. And what a drive from Arturis. Jordan Kelly, P3, is the new champion of the BMW M4 and M8 competition of the Pro class. Sergey Grabin, P4, Josh Malin. He tried everything. It's P5. Rory O'Shea, Rob Barville, James Holman, Brian McManus, and Michael Devaney, Patrick McKenna, Thomas Sebas, Thomas Series, Keith Dempsey, Roland Herderman, Richard Faulkner, Tony Stack, Ian Malone. And then a little ways further down the order will be the non-classified finishers. iRacing Mantis, Dave Maguire wins the Pro-Am class, and that is going to be so tight at the Nordschleife between those two for the title. Lawrence de Soswa, Chris McCann. Well done for Lawrence, by the way. Another podium to add to it. This is his 3rd podium of the season, I think, for Lawrence. Well done. Chris McCann, Nathan Healy, Jan Montero, Evan Griffin, Richard Lyons, and Peter McCann. And then Mark Birney, Dave Collier, Wayne Douglas, Victor Cullen, Owen Murray, Nicky Meredith, Robert Moore, Niall Murray, and Shane Connolly round out the classified grid. But wow, what a race. That goes up on the list of the best of the championship, and I would absolutely love to hear from some of the drivers. Actually, speaking of which, the first man who's in is Jordan Kelly, so I think we're going to drag him in for a quick chat. Let's have him in. Jordan, welcome to the commentary box. I know what you must be feeling right now, absolutely ecstatic. What a race at the end, but provisionally speaking, you are the champion of this series, so what you must be feeling over the moon right now. That was such a hard race, and to come through all that, grab a podium and the title, you must be over the moon.
Oh, it's just madness from getting getting into that collision on the halfway through race 2, I was like, oh Jesus, you're not gonna get enough points or whatever to keep a good enough lead and stuff. But just lucky to get through that, and it's just trying to get past Sergio as well. So it was brilliant.
Well, it's you've been in the championship pretty much since it started, so you've developed so much as a driver. So, I mean, having worked so hard to come up through the ranks, I mean, this must be sort of a kind of a reward, I suppose, for all the hard work over the past 2 seasons. But yeah, talk to us about that incident as well, because how bad was the damage you managed to pick up in that incident?
It was only aero damage, but it was costing me nearly it was nearly a second a lap slower. So down the straight, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get caught, but I could gain the time over the mountain, so it wasn't too bad to the guys behind and stuff. But coming from the first season and stuff, and just getting the seeing Keith at the very start, and you're thinking, oh, you're never going to be able to get to that level and stuff. And it's just this season's it's just clicked with the car, like. So it's just come out perfectly.
Well, Jordan, thank you so much for joining us. You are now a champion. Go enjoy it, and we can have a bit of fun at the Nordschleife. I know the VRA boys are very looking forward to the Nordschleife, because I think that's the track you just drive around all day. So, Jordan, thank you very much. Well done. You are the champion. Hopefully, we'll be talking to you again next Sunday.
Thanks, Jack.
So, very happy Jordan Kelly joining us there, the newly crowned champion. And let's have a chat as well with Jason Cooper, because it's been a long time since we chatted with Jason. And Jason, very welcome to the commentary box. It's been a long time since we chatted with you as a race winner. I think it was Snetterton and the touring cars we last had a win from you. But that was a hard race. You were under pressure from Josh Mayland the whole way through. There was a little bit of contact at the end. But, I mean, you must be sweating buckets at the end of that.
Yeah, that was a difficult race. I saw at the end of lap 1 he'd managed to work his way up right behind me already, and I thought, oh, he's got some pace. It's going to be hard to keep him behind. Yeah, was lucky through the traffic, got a couple of little breaks, and that was just enough to hold him off. Unfortunately, didn't really leave a lot of room in that last quarter, on that two from last corner. I was up in the apex, and I couldn't really go anywhere. So, but he tried to go for the win.
Yeah. As well. So obviously the drivers' record kind of split with the opinion on letting the GT4s race on the same track. How did you find making your way through the traffic? Because from our end, at least, it seemed that the GT4s were quite well behaved.
Yeah, I never had any problems. I made out quite a few places in the first race, and probably taking a few more risks. I had a bit of car damage there. But in that second race, it's taking it quite steady. But I'm quite used to it with the multi-class racing.
And finally, Jason, of course, we have the Nordschleife next weekend, 2-hour endurance race, very different to the sprint races we're doing right now. Much experience with the Nordschleife, looking forward to it?
Yeah, I've done a couple of races around there, but nothing quicker than a TCR, so we'll see how we go in this.
Well, Jason, congratulations on finally getting a long overdue win, and hopefully we'll be speaking to you again next week at the Nordschleife.
Yeah, see you next time.
So, Jason Cooper there, and finally we're going to get a word from the round 7 winner in the Pro-Am class. Let's grab a word with Harry McGovern. I don't think we've actually had a word with him at all on this channel. Harry, very welcome for the first time to the commentary box. Very hard fought, those 2 races. Winning race 1, second place in race 2, and yourself and Dave are now fighting for the title heading into the Nordschleife. Just talk us through those 2 races.
Well, the first race I was delighted with, because I knew Dave was a bit quicker than me, but I just got him in the right places, and then came down to the last lap, and I just took the inside and hope it worked, but it ended up working out pretty well, so I was delighted with that one. And then race 2, I was just lucky to keep it on the track. I was just hoping that I was going to get him when the M8s came through, but no, it didn't really work out for me. I actually got a little tap from an M8. It was just a racing instant, just coming into the last corner, but still really happy with it. I thought I did really well. So I think it's going to come down to the last round now. I'm pretty sure we're pretty level on points, so I actually don't know that track, so it's going to take me a while to learn it, but yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be between yourself, Alex, and Dave heading into the final round. It's obviously been, I think, a season of big improvements for you. Just talk us through how you feel you've improved as a driver, because you've gone from just kind of fighting for those podiums constantly, but now you're right in with a shot at the title.
I think at the start of the championship, I was like trying to get to terms with the car. It's a tricky car to drive, and I think I've really just got to know it now a lot better, and I'm more comfortable with racing with it. So, and it's great as well, because like when you're not out racing in real life, it's great to sit down here and have a good race with everyone, and it's fair race and it's great crack.
Yeah, good stuff. And as well, there's talks about we've heard the M8's perspective, but how was it with the traffic from the M8s trying to let them through? Because obviously the pace deficit is quite large around there.
Yeah, no, it actually went a lot better than I thought it would, but up through the tight section, I think Skyline, and then going down the hill, that was the part where I'm kind of looking in my mirrors, don't know whether they're going to make a dive or not, but they're all actually very patient and stayed behind until we got to the back straight, so it actually worked out a lot better than expected.
Finally, Harry, is there anyone you'd like to give a quick shout out or a thank you?
Just all the organisers, and also Alex, because I know he's sitting there watching this, so I hope he's there in the next race.
Good stuff. We look forward to seeing that fight between the three of you. Well done, Harry, on your race 1 win and the second place, and hopefully we'll have a great fight on track next week, the Nordschleife.
Hopefully. Thanks very much.
Was Harry McGovern, who was just chatting to us as a race winner and a second place finisher. Peter, I'll come to you. Your first experience of digital motorsports. I think that's probably the craziest you're going to get, but how did you find it?
Well, it was just fantastic, and one of the main reasons why I love commentating on motorsport is you just always marvel at the guys at the front and the skill that they have, and I think the depth of field here in this championship is extraordinary, and to watch those guys hustle those big M8s around Bathurst, it really shows the skill of the driver off, and yeah, it was really, really good, and I tell you what, absolutely made up for young Jordan Kelly as well. Of course, he put on a great show for us at Brands Hatch on Saturday night with in the Apex Racing F3 series, which we commentate on together. And yeah, a thoroughly deserving provisional champion. And I hope you'll have me back again soon.
Absolutely. We'd obviously look forward to that. But we have our final round next week on the 29th of November, 2-hour endurance race at the Nordschleife. The Pro Championship is decided, but we still have the 3-way fight for the Pro-Am Championship, which is going to go down to the wire, and that's going to be quite something to watch. But Jordan Kelly, a brand new champion and a very popular champion, I think, a lad who's worked so hard to get himself up to the standard, and he will now be one of the drivers who represents Ireland on the world stage when we get back racing in arenas once again. So that is going to be all from us on the iRacing Sports Network and Apex Racing TV. Make sure to subscribe to both of those channels to keep up to date with all the things racing on iRacing. But that's been all from us today. This has been the BMW M4 and M8 competition, sponsored by Mondello Park in association with Motorsport Ireland. The stewards are now going to be working hard, but we'll now log ourselves off. Thank you all for joining, and we will see you next Sunday. Thank you, and good night.
Are you itching to get racing? Whether it's circuit racing, drifting, rallying, or even karting, Here at digitalmotorsports.com, we run some of the best online leagues in the world. To get involved, visit our website at digitalmotorsports.com and enrol for our next event.